Ever wished you could just tell a computer what you wanted to do and bam, it's done?
Like magic.
Exactly, like magic. Well, today's deep dive might just blow your mind. We're looking at this thing called T-SQL.APP.
It's pretty wild.
Yes, it's this web-based program, and get this, it lets developers build entire applications using just T-SQL.
You know, the language you usually only see for database management.
Yeah, exactly. But T-SQL.APP is using it for everything, like the user interface, the back-end logic.
All of it.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is. Our sources are calling this a total paradigm shift in software development.
Well, you know what? I can totally see why. So no more juggling a bunch of different programming languages, no more frameworks. It's all streamlined, all in this one platform.
Yeah.
But how does that actually work?
So think of it like a supercharged workshop.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got your workbench, which is the built-in IDE, and all your tools are right there. Real-time previews, debugging tools, version control, everything. Everything neatly organized.
Wait. Back up for a second.
Sure.
I know our listeners are pretty tech savvy, but for anyone just tuning in, what exactly IS and IDE?
Right, good point. It stands for Integrated Development Environment.
Okay.
So basically, it's the software where developers write and test their code.
Uh-huh.
And a good IDE is like a really helpful assistant.
Right.
It highlights errors, suggests improvements, makes the whole coding process much smoother. And with T-SQL.APP, all of this happens right within that T-SQL environment.
Okay, got it. So it's like this one-stop shop for building an app, which is pretty amazing in itself. But what really blew my mind reading about this is the AI integration.
Oh, yeah.
This is where T-SQL.APP gets really wild.
It does.
Because they claim that you can write code using plain English. That's mind-blowing.
It is.
But I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical.
Sure.
Can you give us like a concrete example of how this actually works?
Absolutely. So the source material actually includes this fascinating case study. They built a calculator app
Okay.
entirely from a natural language prompt.
What?
Yeah. Someone just typed in, create a calculator that can store a history of calculations.
No way.
Yeah. And the AI in T-SQL.APP generated the whole application.
So they didn't have to tweak anything. It just worked right out of the box.
It wasn't perfect, of course. You know, there were a few limitations, especially when it came to like more complex math functions.
Yeah.
But as a proof of concept, it's incredibly impressive. It really shows what this technology can do, like how it can translate everyday language into functional software.
That is just remarkable. So, I mean, we've talked about how this could totally change how developers work.
Yeah.
But what about the bigger picture?
Yeah.
If this technology really takes off, could it change who can even build software?
Right.
I mean, could we actually see a wave of like citizen developers, people creating their own apps without, needing years of coding experience?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Like, could T-SQL.APP really democratize software development? I mean, it definitely has the potential to, lower that barrier to entry,
Right.
to give individuals and small businesses the power to create custom solutions without having to hire, expensive programmers.
Yeah.
But if the AI can just automatically generate, accurate and understandable documentation as you are writing the code,
Yeah.
it could really revolutionize the way we work together.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah.
What's the next step for our listeners who are like ready to dive into this new world of AI power development?
I think the first step is just explore T-SQL.APP for yourself.
Okay.
Go to the website, try experimenting with the natural language coding feature, see how the AI actually translates what you tell it to do, and just get a feel for this whole new approach. Then step back and think about the implications. How could this change the way we interact with computers?
Yeah.
What new possibilities could this unlock?
That's such a great point. I mean, we've only just scratched the surface here.
We have.
And I'm sure there is so much more to discover. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day we'll all be building software with the ease of writing an email. This is definitely a deep dive to keep on your radar.
Definitely is.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.